Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Mckola. We're outside Old Trafford where Manchester United have been beaten by Barcelona 1-0 on the night. Luis Suarez's goal after a VAR decision gave him the onside call and Barcelona went on to get a victory. Now when Barcelona did get that goal through Luis Suarez, I did fear the worst and I thought Manchester United are in for an absolute hiding. But that was the only goal of the game, and the rest of the night, look, we were up against a very, very good side today, but it feels like a missed opportunity to me. It feels like in that second half, Barcelona, whether it was tactical and they decided to sit off us, soak up the pressure, try hit us on the break, or whether it was because Manchester United were so good in the second half, we had the pressure on for that whole second half. We had them pegged back. They were kicking the ball out. It was coming straight back to our centre halves and we were pushing them forward, but we just couldn't do enough to get the final touch in the final third to make that goal and get it back to 1-1. At 1-1, we're going into the Camp Nou, and I'm a little bit more confident than I am now. Now, look, don't get me wrong, the tie isn't over. What if Paris Saint-Germain's taught us anything? The tie is definitely not over, where we lost 2-0 and we still managed to win it. But here I think we're up against a better side, a side with a little bit more nous, especially in Europe, a little bit more. They've got a little bit more about them in Europe. They've been there and done it. Now, they're not the side that beat us in 2009 and 2011 in those finals, but they still have one of the greatest players ever in Lionel Messi. They still have an awful lot of talent in that team. And today, look, I'll go from back to front. I thought David De Gea didn't have much to do, but with what he did have to do, he made a few decent saves. Luke Shaw had a very good performance on that left-hand side with Diogo Dalot in terms of getting forward, in terms of defending and helping out Smalling and Lindelof with the defensive duty of looking after the likes of Lionel Messi and co. Ashley Young had an awful game today. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sit here and abuse him. That's not what I do. I like Ashley Young. I think he's a top bloke, but he's done out here. He's finished. I don't think he's good enough to be starting for Manchester United anymore, and I don't think he's definitely not good enough to be starting in games like this at the top level against the top teams in the Champions League. We can't have Ashley Young playing for us at fullback. Maybe go with Luke Shaw at left back, Dalot at right back. I'm not too sure, but for me, Ashley Young is finished. His final ball in the final third isn't good enough, and defensively he's a little bit AWOL as well. So I like Ashley Young, but it felt like, remember Gary Neville's performance against West Bromwich Albion when you just knew Gary Neville is done? I got that same feeling with Ashley Young today. Now, it was up against a very good side, and Barcelona can make the best players look poor, but Ashley Young has been consistently poor for United, and I feel that was the same thing today. Players that weren't poor for Manchester United today were in that midfield area, and I thought McTominay and Fred did very well today. I don't have high expectations of either of them. Fred hasn't pulled up trees since he arrived at Manchester United for a huge price tag, and Scott McTominay, I've said it before, I don't think he's that great of a player, but they both have stepped up to the plate, and Scott McTominay has been doing it since that game against Paris Saint-Germain. Now look, you know, he's not going to stick the ball in from 40 yards. He's not going to, you know, pull off some lovely bits of skill. But what Scott McTominay does is he provides energy. He provides someone that gets about, gets in players' faces, can put a challenge in, isn't scared to do that. And it's good to see from him. We're hearing about Ander Herrera leaving Manchester United. Well, is Scott McTominay the guy that can come through and take his position in the team? I think Ander Herrera is a little bit more clever in terms of his footballing ability, tactically and stuff. But Scott McTominay, there's going to be an opportunity for him there, and in the big games he really has delivered, so hats off to him. And you know, I'm looking stupid for doubting him as the days go on. Fred, he was my man of the match, and I thought he was quality in there. Him and Paul Pogba trying to make things happen for us, but just couldn't get it in the final third. I thought Romelu Lukaku didn't offer enough going forward. He's pulling out wide far too many times, and he didn't look like he really wanted to get in the mix of things and make things happen. Marcus Rashford had one of those bad days as well, and I know we can come out and say he looked a little bit injured, or, you know, but Marcus Rashford, you got to do better with some of the opportunities that you had. He had one which was a volley, which was, the ball was coming down from a higher area, but he was 12 yards out. You get your head over that, bring it down, have a pop. Or if you're going to hit it first time, make sure you get on target, and he sliced it and it went over. I thought when Anthony Martial came on for Romelu Lukaku, we looked a little bit better. And I like seeing Andreas Pereira. I thought he tried to get at him a little bit when he came on. But overall, Barcelona in the first half were too good for us. In the second half, we couldn't make it count, make that pressure count and get a goal to make it level. And ultimately, it feels like a missed opportunity. But the game and the tie isn't over. We're going over to Barcelona next week, and you still feel like it would be a miracle if we got through, but we've done miracles in the Nou Camp before. We need a 2-1 victory to take us through. We got a 2-1 victory in the Nou Camp before. You guys know what I'm talking about, and sometimes your name can be on the trophy. Sometimes history can play its part. Sometimes, you know, your name and your badge can get you through games, and it's one that gives us hope, but there's no expectation there that we're going to go there to Barcelona and do it, because today I thought in the second half they kind of sat off us with the intention to do that. Come on then, United, let's see what you've got. Can you get a goal? And we'll hit you on the break, and we couldn't get that goal. So I think they'll beat us in the Nou Camp, but stranger things have happened. And today, Lionel Messi was quiet, got pocketed by Mikey Smalling, and if that can happen, anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. But as I said, today feels like a missed opportunity. Now, I said Fred was my man of the match, but part of me is saying Scott McTominay. So let me know who you think in the comments below. Was it Scott McTominay or was it Fred as man of the match? There's been a few criticisms on by passers-by and stuff about Paul Pogba's performance. I didn't see anything wrong with his performance today. There was a few times where it's a little bit frustrating. He could have got the ball through, but I thought he kept it simple. He tried to make things happen for United, and he did all right today. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. We got loads of fan cams coming your way. Keep it locked to Full Time Devils. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment and sharing. I'm Mckola. I'm out of here.